You know, when I was trying out for the show, I walked into the room and there's just thousands of people here trying to become, you know, the next Ultimate Fighter. And the number one thing that just ran through my head time and time again was, I think that guy's bigger than me. And it's just over and over again. Whether they're, you know, I went out for the 85 season, whether they're 170 or 205, I thought, oh, I think that guy's bigger than me. And I'm sure everyone out there is thinking the same thing. I could definitely see people getting amped up, you know, a little nervous because their future could depend on 2 minutes of grappling or a minute and a half of pad holding. So I can see people getting real nervous. You can almost feel it out there. There's a little bit of electricity in the room as everyone's getting ready and psyching themselves up and again thinking, oh, I think that guy's bigger than me. I hope he doesn't hit harder than me.
Seeing all those people, all those fighters, you kind of feel like it's going to be hard to stand out in the group, you know. And you see the guys, there's a bunch of characters out there. There's guys with masks on. There's guys with, you know, they're doing anything to try to stand out. Some it'll work, you know, but I think where it really counts is, you know, on the mat, their records. You know, they look at the records probably more, you know, a lot in the interview. Well, you know, there's just so much that goes into it. They're looking for a certain specific, you know, thing.
Winning record is not 3-3 or 5-5. It has to be more wins than losses. That comes straight from the mouth of Joe Silva, okay? He will not consider you if you have an even record. It has to be more wins than losses, okay?
I'd say you might as well go for it, right? You got, you know, if you can, if you have the record and you know you have the money to get out here and try out, you might as well do it. If you don't make it, they've been having seasons forever, so you get the experience, you get, you know, you get used to how it's run, and then maybe the second time. For me, it was the second time. I tried out the first time, and I didn't make it. I was young. I was you know, I was just an amateur at the time, but they were letting amateurs try out. But I got the experience, so the second time came around, I knew what I was doing, and just, you know, kind of went right through it.
You see how many people are here? It's because 155 and 170 are the two most talent-packed divisions in the sport.
Yeah.
So that means you guys are among elite fighters in MMA. Bad news is there's so many of you. So a lot of good people will not make it through today. It's not that you're not good, it's we only have a certain amount of spots, and this is a Shark Tank. All you guys are so talented, so good. If you don't make it through, please don't be upset. Don't come after we got a ton of guys to go through. No, I've seen you, I know who you are. It's a lot of good guys that are going to get left out simply because there's so many of you and you're all so talented. So we're going to start out with grappling. We're going to do 90 seconds. There's a lot of guys, so get to it. It's not a whole lot of time.
It's being the first time here, you can see the talent, you know, just by looking at the athlete. The athletes are different, if you can tell, as they can roll in here. I think it's very difficult for these guys, you know, especially when you got so much coming. And then somebody's going to fall through the cracks. Somebody's, you know, there'll be a couple of guys out here that won't make it, but they'll go back to the regional circuit and really dominate. And I think because going through this process, you get to kind of know who they are. They might not get into the house, or they might not make it through the process of the grappling or the striking or the interview. But once you get back out into your local circuit, the UFC kind of knows who the guys are, and they kind of monitor them as well. Because there will be some guys that won't make it that will end up in the UFC down the road. It always happens that way.
The best advice I could give someone who's going through this is just be relaxed. I mean, act like you've done this before, even if you haven't. The cream will always rise to the top. If you're the best in the room, you will be found out by the UFC.